What's up, guys? I'm Chris, and I am VHB Engines. Alright, so this is something I was just kind of like, I just plucked out of the sky. I was thinking about the conversation that I had last night, and with me talking about like, how is it that fucking people, mistake the fact that it's just me that runs this channel. I mean, it's like I said, this is 90% of the time it's me in my crib. Back when I had my own little workspace, it was me and that. Or like when I was at the house and I had my workspace there, it would be me and that. But the vast majority is just me in front of my phone in whatever part of my fucking house my computer's set up in. So when I get commenters that are like, you guys, I'm like, this is not a team. This is not a. Maybe I guess it's because VH Engines, they automatically assume it's like some kind of pro shop somewhere that there must be more than one guy working, and that's not the case. And I've said a bunch of times too that even if it was ever a shop environment like I was commercial, it would still probably just be me, because I'm very jealous of credit to my work. I don't like anybody to have any kind of fingers in my Kool-Aid, because I don't want anybody to take credit for what I do. Mainly because even if I've had help somewhere, 99.9% of the chance or time, it's me and my effort, my work. So I don't want that 0.1% that somebody's like, yeah, us, bro. Like, no, it wasn't you. You cleaned the head one time for me or some shit like that. I don't like to share anybody credit, because I work very hard. I worked very hard to build this and to build my engines and everything, and I am not willing to cut any kind of credit over that kind of work for somebody who's barely had any involvement. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are really quick and easy to try and throw themselves in a spotlight without justifying, without doing any work. So, and also a thing that I see too is there's a lot of YouTube channels that, with guys working in the backyard or whatever. It's a group of guys because it's easier to have a group collective to work off from. And that's true when you're really small. It is easier to bounce off each other, to share things and spread the load. But the problem is with that I've seen everywhere, is that it always ends in a failure and a split up. Just like rock bands from the 70s and 80s, it's doomed to failure. They're always eventually going to break up, because one guy will get more famous than another part of the group or whatever, and for whatever reason, or the monetary share won't be the same. There'll always be that, how much do you contribute versus I contribute, and eventually it goes bad. So I know that, and this is why I deliberately kept myself solo, so that way when eventually, and if eventually I do get to the point where I'm big, no controversy. My own fucking effort here. Nothing, no need to share, no need to split. Now, with that being said, how do I feel about actually having partners? And I do feel like I would like at least one other guy, and this one other guy would be the help because of the fact that I'm lazy. My biggest problem to date is it takes me forever to get an engine sold and get results back. I've got like 5 dudes that have gotten back to me over the last couple years with good results, and unfortunately that's not enough to claim any kind of major success. I know that my engines will run consistent, right? They all have, but it's just, you need mass results. People want to see engines in cars like every other fucking week making fucking power before people start really having faith. And so that, my problem is with that is like I would have to do that myself. And of course my issue is I'm slow. It takes me a long time to get a fucking project done for many reasons. And back in the day when I first started working on cars, swaps was all I did. So swaps were getting done relatively fast. There wasn't, that's all there was to do. There was no engine building process. There wasn't really buying a lot of parts. It was buy a swap, put a swap in a car, make it run. There you go. Now I'm well beyond that point, and the swap part of the car thing is fucking the most boring shit for me. I tried to make something like this, a partnership like this, work before. So when I say partnership, this is what I mean. Not so much the fact that the engine building, I don't ever want to share that with anybody. I don't want to share engine workspace with somebody. Now, am I willing to take people on as an apprentice type deal and teach them? Yes. No problems there. But even then, at least that way, if I'm bringing somebody in from scratch who don't know shit, when they do know shit, you know where that shit came from. So I don't want to have anybody in my workspace that's going to be competing. So I'm okay with bringing somebody in who doesn't know anything and teaching them and then sending them on their way once they're on their own feet and they confidently know everything. What I would like to have as a partner is somebody who does swaps. Somebody that puts my engines in the car for me. Like, hey, I have a shop car, the shop shell, and we have everything we need for that. Or maybe 2, one for D series, one for B series, right? Maybe 3, one for B, one for D, one for K. And that'd be as far as I go. I'm sorry, H and F family, you don't get no love from me. Not saying I don't like those engines, but I just don't care as much. Anyway, so what I would like to eventually have is a shop shell or 2, and I'd like to be able to just build engines and be like, hey, you, partner guy, throw that engine in that car. That's your fucking job. That's what you do. And then that way we can get fucking cars rolling and get swaps sold easier because we got the numbers to go with the engine and shit like that. So that's what I would eventually like to do. And but the problem is finding somebody with a discipline that wants to do that. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Chris, so who the fuck would want to do that and not get paid? Well, see, this is where that thing comes into place. If I ever get to the point where I'm renting shop space again, which I think is possible, but it won't be anytime soon. Or maybe I'll just be to the point where I have a house that has a garage or a backyard where I can build a garage and I'm working out of that. And that I have an official workshop again. And then I would like to I'd provide the workspace for somebody who would do swaps for me, right? And you're like, well, again, like, Chris, if you're not fucking paying this guy, why is he gonna be doing it? It'd be a flat rate type deal. Here's what it'd be. It'd be like I build an engine, I put an engine in a car, or he puts the engine in the car. We sell that fucking or sell the engine, and then flat rate labor. Like what I would personally charge for a swap if I was doing a swap will be $500 or $550 if it's just a straight forward swap. There's no problems that you run into during that need to be fixed. If it's just a straight in and out engine pull, $550, right? That's be the flat rate labor for a swap. So, put the engine in a car, we sell that engine. When that engine sells, you get $550 of the profits because that's what you did. You did the swap. And technically, it would be a swap because you drop it in and pull it out. So there'd be that. And eventually, what I'd like to do, because people come to me all the time, like, hey, I want you to build me an engine, but they want me to do the full job. Absolutely not happening. It takes me a week or so to build an engine at a steady pace. I don't want to fucking build an engine, put the engine in a car. It's way too much work, especially take another one out. Take an engine out, build an engine, put the engine back in the car. Way too much work. Even if I charge you a couple grand, I don't want to work under that pressure because people are like, bro, when's my car going to be done? And I understand that because I've been on that side of the fence before. So what it would be cool is because I turn away a lot of business like that because I'm not willing to do a swap. If I had somebody that could do the swap, I would literally only take the money from the engine, and like with the engine work that I would charge, like if I charge $800 for an engine build or whatever, then I would take that, and the bill would be, fucking like, okay, let's say the bill was $2 grand, and 800 of it was my part from just the engine side. Take mine. Whoever's doing the swap that have they're working would get the rest of that money. So that way it would be more like a contractor type deal. I'm not paying you. You're getting paid from the job you do. So that way it's win-win. I'm going to get, it would be billed together, but I would be getting only my portion and that person would be getting that. That's what I would like to do eventually, and I think that something like that could work. And I guess so in the future that would be something to look forward to. My thing is finding somebody that has a discipline and has a consistency to be there, do honest work, not cut a lot of corners, and just know that when they put the engine in a car, it's going to be fine, it's going to run. Somebody who can not only drop an engine in a car, but if there's check engine lights, can properly troubleshoot and figure out where they fucked up at. So that way I wouldn't have to lean over. Because my thing would be I'd want zero involvement. I want to build an engine and be like, here you go, dude, do your thing, and then we get paid. I want to be able to walk away from it. I don't want to have to come back in, double check your shit, or you get codes and I have to troubleshoot for you. Now, I'm not saying that I would be, never have any involvement because I got no problem looking over shoulders. I just don't want the expectation to fall back on me. I don't want it to be like, well, you have to get this done now so we can get paid, because that's not, that would defeat the purpose of having the whole shared responsibility type deal. So anyway, yeah, I attempted to do something like that before. It didn't work out because, swaps can be a pain in the ass, especially if you have another job that you're doing and that's not the only thing you're doing. But, so yeah, I would like to eventually see VHP engines grow into something like that, but until then, VHP engines is not a we, it's a me. It's me. Alright guys, thanks for watching. and peace.